Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Two Broke Gaijin podcast, the podcast about the journey to financial freedom for both you and us. We are here in the wonderful city of Tokyo, Japan, and by we, I mean myself, the first Broke Gaijin. My name is Eddie, for everybody out there who doesn't really know who we are. Probably, I don't know. And joining me is my partner in crime, my buddy, my pal, Mr. Aaron. How are you doing, good sir?
How's it going, everybody? And welcome to episode 9.
This is the ninth episode.
This is the 9th episode. This is the last episode of single digits, if you believe that.
Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy.
We're going to double digits next week.
Yeah, and people are still listening.
Yeah. In fact, speaking of people who are still listening, we have one. We've been checking out analytics recently, and we have one listener in Rwanda, of all places.
I know, right?
Friend of the show.
All
She knows who she is. She knows who she is. So thank you for expanding our global reach to Africa.
And
Reaching one continent at a time.
yeah, and if anything, from my side, because I know you recently met up with her, not that long ago, because she was visiting over here. So
Oh yeah, she was. Yeah.
yeah, and I didn't get a chance to see her or say hi or anything like that. So I'm saying hi right now. Hi. Hey, it would have been cool if you would have said hi back when you visited, but you know what? I still love you, so yeah. Hope you're doing okay.
Still love you.
Yeah. So, anyway, how's your week been?
My week this week.
Mm-hmm.
It has been a roller coaster ride.
Really?
Yeah, work's been steady, but
Right.
in terms of in the investment world, because this week I decided to jump into cryptocurrency.
Cryptocurrencies, dun dun
I
dun.
jumped into cryptocurrency.
I've been
I'm
hearing
sure
a
you
lot of
guys
stuff
may be
about
aware
that,
if you
yeah.
listen to the news that it is the hot thing right now. Everyone's talking about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple. Everyone's on that train, and I decided to jump along for the ride.
And
So I put my money where my mouth is, and it's not going too well. As of right now, I am down. I am down. So
by
maybe jumped into the wrong time there.
by what percent are you down?
Probably about maybe 10%.
Ooh.
Down about 10%. Now I was up by about 20% at one point, and now I'm down by about 10. So it's not all bad news, and it is expected to recover. I think there's a bit of panic in the market now because the prices have gone a bit crazy. But I'm gonna hold. I'm gonna stick to my guns and hold, and
Hold the
we'll
line.
see how it turns out.
What's the average jump daily? The average daily jump?
Oh, it can vary between like 10% down to 20% up. I think today it's down 20%.
Ooh.
In 24 hours. It's crazy. It's very, very volatile. It's if you're looking for a stable if you're looking for a stable investment, it probably isn't the best one to go for, but it's definitely worth checking out and reading up on and seeing, because people are saying that it's going to be like the future of currency, how people will transfer wealth, in the future. So I mean, I thought I'd get some skin in the game. And as always with investments, never put any more on the line than you're willing to lose.
Yeah.
So, so luckily I followed that rule at least. So if things do go south, I'm okay with it.
Okay. All right. So long as, you're not spending all your money. Because, there's a difference between investing and gambling, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't just get paid and put my paycheck down on cryptocurrency there.
The whole paycheck.
No, just the whole thing.
Oh, man.
Just let it ride. No. I'm a bit more conservative than that, at least for now, with my investments. So yeah, I'm just riding that wave, and I'll let you guys know what's going to happen next week, because next week it could be 100% up, or it could be completely out to zero. Who knows? It's kind of crazy.
Up and down slowly, right?
Up and down. It's a constant roller coaster ride.
What have you got?
Oh, so right now I'm in Ethereum and I'm in Ripple at the moment.
Oh, no Bitcoin?
No Bitcoin, no.
Oh, okay. Because I know everybody, Bitcoin has been a thing for a while, and Ethereum and Ripple are pretty new, but Bitcoin, everybody's talking about Bitcoin.
Oh yeah, Bitcoin's like the gold standard of cryptocurrency. But Yeah, I'm kind of looking for one with a bit more growth, at least for now. And
Okay.
Ethereum seems to be the sort of one of choice. It seems to be at least outperforming when compared to Bitcoin itself.
Okay. What
Uh,
appeals you to that more?
I believe it was just one. It was cheaper to own a single Ethereum,
Of
ether.
course.
The price of it. Like I could have gone into Bitcoin, but I would have only owned like a percentage of a coin and not a full coin. And number two, and it just seems it grown more in the last 6 months. If you could believe this, guys, I think up to recently, I think it may have surrendered a little bit recently, but it's up on 6 months 4,000%.
4,000. Oh
4,000%.
my God.
Crazy,
4,000. Oh.
crazy.
Yeah, I think I gotta hop on that then. Well, you heard them, people.
Yeah.
Get some Ethereum and make us richer.
Yeah. So what about you, Eddie? How's your week been?
My week has been pretty good actually. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm a little bit more lively than the last time. Yeah, because
Oh, yeah, right.
yeah,
Right,
last
yeah,
time.
it was a long week last week. We do record on a Thursday as we said before, so it is towards the end of the week, so we start to feel it a bit.
Yeah,
But we do try to keep it upbeat for you guys.
yeah. Last week was a last week gave me a run for my money. I'll tell you that much. My goodness,
Oh,
I don't know. Yeah,
oh yeah.
but yeah, this week has been going good, and I mean, work has been going pretty well, steady, smooth. Things have been progressing, and yeah, I've been doing all my, some inner market research. I finished one of my books that I've been meaning to get finish. Yeah, finish. A book
Oh,
called
nice.
Creative Confidence. Pretty good.
Oh,
Pretty good. Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. Um.
What's the theme of the book? I mean, confidence, I'm sure, but what's sort of
Oh,
theme of the book?
creative confidence.
Creative confidence.
No. So, the whole thing about the book is it's basically well, they go into like these different aspects of like what makes someone bring out their creative side, and especially like how to become more confident within your creative side, as well as a whole bunch of things that they focus a lot on Stanford. Like in Stanford, they have something called the D School, and there's a lot of like creative activities that go in there, and then some techniques that they do. Like for example, there was this one example that they gave where, oh wow, this is bad start. I can't even remember what the app is called, but there was these two Indian guys that were essentially given a task to create a full-fledged app and a full-fledged company and an app within like the span of 2 weeks or something like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and they were saying one of the arguments that the book makes is when you're actually given a short time span, it actually kind of fills you with, I don't know, this kind of rush, this adrenaline that kind of makes your body kick into overdrive, and it gets your creative juices flowing. And it's less about, okay, I'm gonna take time to think about how to be creative versus jumping into the rush and forcing myself to be creative because I want
It's like,
something
I
to.
need to get creative now, right?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, just imagine, like, for all you people in college, or if anybody remembers college, just imagine, like, I don't know, you have a final coming up or this huge essay, and you just kind of procrastinate till like the last 3 days, and then that last time you just take it to like cram everything. Similar, but with creativity.
Right.
Yeah, and it's a very interesting book. Actually, I recommend it. It's a good read. If anything, I'll put it this way: if anything, I feel like the book is more comforting. It has a more comforting tone for aspiring creative people or people who want to be more creative or be more confident in their creativity versus being inspirational. So less inspirational of a book, more comforting as a book. That was
Nice,
that was
nice.
just my take.
I
And
mean, I mean, yeah, you do need those books that are going to be a bit more comforting, a bit more inspirational, and ones that are going to kick you up the backside, right?
yeah, right. I mean, we
You
already
need a
deal with enough,
bit of all of them.
enough hardships throughout the days, so whatever. And I'm probably gonna get a little bit of hate for this or whatever. Well, maybe that was a bit too strong. I don't know. But I recently watched, just last night. I was gonna take a little break right after I got done reading my book. Just last night, I watched a particular movie. I had to watch it. It was very relevant to my childhood, and that movie was Power Rangers.
Oh, good. I was gonna say Most Vertical Primate, but Power Rangers, okay.
Oh no, yeah, the new Power Rangers movie. And
You know, I actually want to see that.
yeah,
I
and
actually want to see that.
you know what? I'm gonna say this: there were a bit parts in there that were just a tiny bit cheesy, a little bit of it kind of bringing back the whole old school vibe of the '90s, and I absolutely loved it. Like, it was great. I absolutely loved it, and I mean, as an overall whole movie, it was okay. I mean, they did what they could. It was okay. It wasn't bad, but I loved it because Power Rangers were a big part of my childhood. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, and I will say it was shot pretty well. I have to say that. Yeah.
I'm hearing that if you go in with not too higher expectations, it's a fun popcorn movie.
Yeah,
You know,
I would say
you go in there,
this.
turn your brain off for a few hours, and
Yeah.
have some fun.
When you're going to watch this movie, don't go in there expecting it to be like I don't know, like
High art. I'm sure it's not high
I don't know what's a good movie to, one of those really big movies. Like don't expect it to be a Matrix or a I don't know, one of those or Logan. Oh my God, Logan was good, but don't expect.
Oh, I've yet to see that one too.
Oh, it's so good. But
So
don't
that your movie release times, Japan. Hurry up.
yeah.
Come on.
Don't expect it
Sort it
to
out.
be just this super incredible movie with this highly intricate story and all this other stuff. That's not the mindset you need when you watch that movie. You just gotta just have a bit of an open mind and expect it to be an amped up version of a kids movie. That's essentially what it is. And I, like I said, because I still like to believe I'm a kid at heart. Power Rangers were a big part of my childhood, so I went and I watched that movie, and I was like, okay, haha, I see what you did there, and then I liked it.
Nice,
So,
nice. I've definitely got to check it out. It's on my list. I'm checking it twice. Yeah, no, definitely need to check that out. And Logan as well.
Oh God, Logan's so good.
Although we like to preach here, guys, you need to, work on your future, work on your goals. Do take some time to relax as well. So if you've got some time on the weekend or you want to just turn your brain off for a little bit, go check out a movie for sure.
Yeah. But other than that, my week has been pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
A lot
That's
of
what I
stuff
like to
going
hear.
on.
So let's get into it, shall we?
Let's.
This week's topic is. Would you like to introduce, or should I do it?
I'll give it a go. I don't know.
Oh, go for it, Eddie.
Yeah. On that note, I have a question for you.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Yeah, we're jumping. Yeah, we're getting into the meat. So, I'm pretty sure you would agree with me in saying that like there's so much information out there nowadays, and you have
a ton.
Yeah, anybody who has access to a library, if anybody still goes to those anymore. Do they even exist anymore? Like an actual?
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Yeah. Like a library, a school, a computer, especially a computer, a smartphone, anything like that. There is so much information, so much content out there that you can get. I'm not going to say any information, but you can pretty much get almost any information that you want, that you can pretty much think of. And
Right.
because of that, there's so much opportunity out there. It's just a lot of people don't really notice it or see it. And with all of these opportunities out there, there are so many things that you can do. So I would
That is true. Yeah.
So I would ask you, jumping into the topic now, do you think it would be better for a person to kind of deal with all the opportunities and really be flexible with their plans to kind of jump into one opportunity and at the same time go through it, essentially multitask with all these opportunities and all these wants that you might have? Or do you think it would be better to just 100% commit to one thing? What's your take? What do you think?
Interesting. I think we talked about this a little bit before, in passing in the previous episode. But yeah, that there is definitely merits to both there.
There is, yes.
There are merits to both, and there's drawbacks to both.
Oh yeah.
I think it comes down to the person, because personally, I like to work on multiple projects at the same time. So not necessarily starting multiple things at the same time, but at least keeping things going at the same time.
Right.
So I would get started with one thing and get it to a point where it sustains itself. So like my e-commerce store, for example.
Right.
And then, once that's sort of going and I'm kind of just maintaining it and, growing and maintaining it, then I would jump into something else like I did with cryptocurrency. So once sort of I got up to a certain point in my e-com store, I put some time and energy into learning about cryptocurrency and investing in cryptocurrency. Right. So I personally am one for flexibility in that sort of sense. What about you?
Kind of the same. I'm kind of the same. I definitely agree in terms of because it's kind of like I said, there's so many opportunities out there that it kind of doesn't really, well, I'm not going to say make sense, but it's very limiting that you just decide to focus and just go, it's just go all out on one particular thing and only that thing. You're limiting yourself. And right. One of the things that I heavily influenced on a previous episode was essentially getting, what assets you can that can cover your liabilities.
Right. Yes.
And I feel like, if you're going to do that, you kind of need to be flexible and, I don't know, multitask a little bit, or kind of do whatever your things. However, there are like specific cases, and other people would argue that you kind of have to commit to one thing in order to be like super successful in that one area or wherever it is that you're going to go. Kind of like a I don't know, when you essentially a specialist versus a jack of all trades kind of a guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think that kind of divides people, like not in a hostile way, but just there are those two kinds of people who can be specialists. Like I get a bit fidgety and a bit like restless if I'm put into that kind of specialist environment where I'm just focused on one thing the whole day. Not to say I've problems paying attention. I can pay attention, but I like to be doing many different. I like variety. I like doing many different things, maintaining many different things, learning about many different things. Whereas some people are very good and laser focused at that one thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes I wish I was that kind of person, and sometimes I wish I was the person I am now, which is a bit more general. But I think when it's especially when you're starting that thing in which especially when you're starting something, it's better to be a specialist, but when you're maintaining it along with other things, it's better to be a generalist. So
yeah,
there is pros and cons of both.
Yeah.
At least for me, this is kind of how I feel. There is sometimes I feel, well, I wish I was more of a specialist in some things rather than being a generalist. I'm more of the know a little about a lot. And some people are a lot about a little kind of thing. So
yeah. Well, I mean, but do you feel like that would be the most effective way about it?
In terms of... Sorry, go on.
Yeah, especially if you're going to be starting up a company. I mean...
Right,
Yeah. No, continue. I'm like...
Oh, no. Yeah. So this actually comes back to a book I read that our CEO at our work recommended me to read.
Okay.
Called... sorry, I'm blanking on the name. It is called... Oh my goodness, it's gone. Yes, E-Myth Revisited.
E-Myth Revisited.
E-Myth Revisited. I think it's called E-Myth by Michael Gerber.
Okay.
I hope I'm saying that name right. And it talks about how to run a successful business, you need the 3 personality types. I think it's the technician, the entrepreneur, and the manager.
Okay.
So, and to run a successful entrepreneur business, you need like the vision of an entrepreneur, you need the practicality of a manager, and you need that speciality of the technician. So you kind of need all three working together to make it a successful company. So you kind of need that top down sort of like visionary view, which comes more with generalists. It's like, oh, you know, I love the idea of doing that one thing, but you may not have the technical skills to do it. You also need the guy that's gonna, or the girl who's gonna make sure everything runs correctly, make sure you've got your operations in place, make sure, you know, accounting's taken care of and finance is taken care of and stock is taken care of. You need that kind of manager person, and then you need that technical person who is very much, they do this thing. They're a programmer, they're a crafter, they do one thing very, very well, and that's probably they're creating the product for your business or the service for your business. So I definitely think you need a measurement of both, but to what degree, I suppose, is down to the person.
I suppose, yeah. I mean, as a person, I don't know. I mean, like, I suppose as a person, an entrepreneur or someone who's just trying to do whatever it is we're doing, I feel like flexibility is allowed there, because as a person, you can move through different channels, you can go through different methods as to acquire your assets. This is true. But as a company, especially if you're starting up your own company, for, you know, all you entrepreneurs out there, or, you know, people just trying to start up your own company, there is, as the person yourself, you can be flexible, but as the company, would it be a good idea to be flexible or no? I mean, take a look at Intel. Because back in the day, Intel, when, you know, they were doing their things, they used to process like a whole bunch of different types of chips and, you know, for multiple purposes. But then, like, once they decided to actually focus solely on microprocessors, I mean, my God, they practically revolutionized the computer world.
Right. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. Like, is it more of a balancing act? Do we, as a person, should we just go for it? Or even as a person, because let's say if you're trying to start, I don't know, a business on the side, and you're also trying to do some fitness work on yourself or whatever, can you, to be honest, the only metaphor I can think of in my head is like exercising, like bodybuilding, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So if you're focusing on a whole bunch of things here and there, you're not spending as much time on one area as someone else is. So therefore, there is a huge probability that, and I'm going a little bit into competition on this one, there's a huge probability that person who's spending way more time in this than you are, because you're trying to be flexible with other stuff, is going to beat you to the punch. And the reason why I say that is because imagine, I mean, let's go with old school Arnold Schwarzenegger. Back in the day, because I listened to one of his interviews, old school interview that he did, and it was really interesting because he said he wanted to be Mr. Universe. He wanted to be a bodybuilder, and what he did was he was just constantly every single day for like, what was it, like 4 to 6 hours, something like that, just exercising. And he was going crazy because that's what he wanted to do. But imagine if you're that same person, like, next to him, but at the same time, ultimately you want to get to Mr. Universe, or, you know, become this great bodybuilder, but at the same time, you're trying to be flexible with all this other stuff that you want to do. I mean, you're not spending as much time as he is, or anybody else, with whatever it is that you're doing. So, you know, you kind of see where I'm going with that?
Yeah. I kind of see that. So, but I think maybe the missing ingredient here is, what are your personal goals? So you said that this person, say in the gym next to Arnie, has the same goal as Arnie, right? They want to be Mr. Universe. I'm sorry, I'm calling him Arnie like I know him, but
Arnie, like you know,
or Mr. like I see him down, like he's my next door neighbor. Yeah. As
old Arnie.
Mr. Schwarzenegger. So this guy training next to Arnold Schwarzenegger, to and I think we've had this conversation maybe off the air, but I'd like to sort of bring it on the air, and I think it kind of fits in here too.
Go for it.
As to goals, maybe slightly off, but we'll see. You let me know.
Yeah.
So I think that your goals. Let me take a step back. At least for me.
Mm-hmm.
At least for me, I never try to be the best.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Now, you may say that's kind of defeatist. It's kind of like, oh, why are you doing it if you don't want to be the best? Because, I heard this from some, I believe I was watching Grant Cardone on YouTube recently. Check him out. He does some great stuff. Sales guy, fantastic. He's got some great value there. But he says that you should never try to be the best. I mean, he's talking about himself, and I'm sure there are people who want to be the best, who you know, that's their goal, is to be the best. And that's great. You go ahead, you do that. But for the rest of us, you have to define what your success is, what your goal is, and then meet that. So the argument against being the best when you've got a modest goal, when I say modest goal, I mean like not trying to be like the top of your field, the best of the best of the best of the best. When I say like, that's what I mean by modest goal. You're not trying to be that guy, that one guy that everyone sees, because the argument against that is that one day you won't be.
Yeah.
One day you won't be the best.
Yeah.
Look at. I mean, he's recently departed, but Muhammad Ali, he was.
Oh yeah.
In his time, the best boxer on the face of planet Earth.
Yeah.
And then, his health got to him, he slowly deteriorated and unfortunately passed away. But, he's not the best anymore, if that makes sense.
Well, I mean, because he's dead.
Because he's dead, right? Because there are, yes, true. But my point stands that there's someday you will not be the best.
Yeah. I was just poking at that.
There's always someone bigger. There's always someone bigger, stronger, faster, and has more money than you. And
well, does that mean you should never aim to be the best in the first place then?
No. Like I said, it's based on each person.
Oh, okay.
So I'm talking for people with more modest goals. I don't want to be the richest person in the world, but I want to earn a nice living, take a few holidays per year, pay off my mortgage, that kind of thing, right?
Oh yeah. Now,
is the guy that's just trying to help his family out a bit more, have a bit more money put away, drive a nicer car, get a nicer house, go on more holidays. Should he be trying to be like the best at what he does? Like, I don't know, someone like, Warren Buffett or like Charlie Munger? I would say no. You could definitely learn from those guys. Don't get me wrong. You could definitely learn from people like that. You can definitely learn from Arnold Schwarzenegger if you're trying to be a bodybuilder. You could definitely learn from Warren Buffett if you're trying to get into investing. But in terms of trying to reach those heights, if your goals are way below that, and it's fine to say, like, my goals are way below. I'm not looking for $1 billion at all. I'm just looking to not have to worry about money, which is a step a lot lower than that. So that would be my argument on that point, is that maybe in terms of as to bring it back to sort of flexibility and sort of being a specialist versus being a generalist, I would say it definitely depends on your goals. If you want to be the best bodybuilder in the world, definitely go for it. You need to be a specialist. You be in the gym every day, out 8-9 hours a day, doing your crunches or whatever you do in the gym. Sorry, I don't go to the gym. But if your idea is to have a bit of a broader vision, someone like Elon Musk.
Okay.
He's more of I know he's an engineer, but he, at least where he is now, he may have started off as a specialist, but now he's definitely general. He's running like 2 or 3 multi-billion-dollar cap companies,
Yeah.
So he's definitely got to be a generalist. He's got to have his eyes in a lot of different places. So he has that more macro view and that more sort of general picture. Whereas the guys that work for him, the guys that, build the rockets and test the rockets and bring those rockets back down, or building the cars or drilling underground, I think is his latest venture. Elon's so crazy. but he employs specialists to work for him, but he is indeed a generalist.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
What do you think about that?
No, like that really makes sense. I mean, if you want to be the best at something, if that's your goal, then, definitely opt for the specialist route. But if you're just trying to, kind of make your way in the world, and, well, maybe not necessarily only making your way in the world, but, if you're just trying to spread your wings, as it were to say, be a generalist, I guess. That's kind of what that's what I got from your whole thing there.
Right. Yeah. Just be aware of many different things. You got to know a little about a lot if you're going to be a generalist, and that's what I'm trying to do every day. I brushed up on cryptocurrency. Learning more about e-commerce every day, investing every day. It's a growing process. It's an ongoing process.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm definitely the same way because I'm trying to. I mean, my God, I'm reading like 7 books at the same time. So,
Oh yeah.
So I mean,
Oh yeah.
Maybe that's a bit too much. I don't know, but
you might just pull it back a tiny bit. But yeah.
but ooh, and also as a just a little bit of a side note there, I am also taking a bit of a little online okay, well, I'm not actually taking it. I haven't enrolled yet, but I'm planning on taking an actual financial literacy class online.
Oh, nice. No time like the present.
Yeah, all right. So because why not? I said in a couple episodes ago, you got to be. I mean, well, Rich Dad Poor Dad says you got to be financially literate.
Yep.
And sooner or later, especially since we're getting into like investing and cryptocurrencies and stocks and all that, kind of, I figured it wouldn't hurt.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, no, I definitely agree with what you said. It does depend on your goals. It does depend on what you're going to do. I mean, because there is one thing that actually, I believe I mentioned it before. One of the several books that I'm reading at this moment,
right.
Eat That Frog.
Oh, yes, Brian Tracy, yeah.
Yeah, and one of the little exercises that go on that the book has you do is write a list of the top 10 things that you either want or want to do. And obviously the more important ones go at the top of the list, and the ones that, if it doesn't come to fruition, you can live without that, or you can live with that. And then you take that list and then you basically put it somewhere that you can see it. So that way it kind of reminds you like, oh, okay, these are what my goals are. And if you have like those top 10 goals and all those goals are kind of in different things, you kind of have to be a generalist, unless it's, I mean, I don't know. Can you have like 10 goals for one thing?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose they could be maybe benchmarks or milestones. But if you want to be, I don't know, let's go back to the Arnold Schwarzenegger analogy, sort of the best bodybuilder, and that's your goal, I suppose you could say, I want to win this competition and that competition and the other competition, so you could kind of check them off as you go. Not everything's going to happen necessarily at the same time.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense, yeah.
So, Eddie, what would you say about you? Would you say you adopt a more, you said that you adopt a more generalist approach. Is that kind of the way you see your life? Sort of a few years down the road, you want to be that kind of generalist, kind of overview guy, the kind of big picture person?
Oh, for sure. Because the whole reason why I say that is because I just like too many things.
Right.
I mean, yeah, because what was it? I don't know if I told you this story. Did I tell you about the guy I met at a seminar who told me about how he made a whole bunch of money off his hobbies?
Oh no! Please do. Well, if you've told me, I may have forgotten, but do share on the podcast.
Yeah. Well, I went to this. I went to this seminar. It was nothing big. It was essentially it was an HR seminar, how to deal with people, talk to people, etc., that kind of a seminar. And I was just essentially just talking to people, networking. And this was months ago, and I met this guy, really interesting guy. He was from, I believe, Italy. I believe it was. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure Italy. Well, yeah, I'm gonna say Italy for the sake of this. If you're listening, I'm sorry, I forgot who you are. But I remember what you said though. Yeah, because one of the things he told me is he was an entrepreneur and he was, traveling the world at this point, and he figured he likes to go to seminars and see what kind of people he can meet for networking. And he started telling me that he has this kind of, I don't know, mini UPS mailing system that he does in his hometown, and he also does like like included in his whole mailing system is like a loot crate, if you know what that is, or like those mailing special things where you pay a subscription and you get a box full of goodies in the mail.
Oh yeah, it's like a lucky box or something. You get a box for them.
Yeah. So he does that kind of a thing, and he also has like this little restaurant thing on the side, and essentially it's because he really likes the kind of food, and he was a big food person, and he likes the food that he grew up with, of course, and he wanted to share that with people. And the same thing with like snacks and stuff that go into the box and all that other kind of junk. And he basically, because he liked it so much, he found a way to monetize it. And one of the things that he told me, because I told him, I was like, there's a lot of stuff that I like to do, and there's a lot of stuff that I want to do. And he just basically told me, okay, that's really cool and that's awesome, but what would be better is, what if you, and this sounds really simple, I know, but he said, what if you could actually monetize on the stuff that you like?
Right.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, what do you mean? And he's like, well, you like watching movies and all this other stuff. What if you found a way to monetize that, or just something simple like that. You just like take a hobby or take something that you like to do and just find your own way to monetize it, and bam, there you go. You have even if it's small, because it doesn't have to be this multi-billion-dollar company.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
It's, even if it's just small, even if it's something, it is something that you actually did and you can kind of share and tell people about or whatever. 2, if it's monetized, it is a source of income. And 3, it's something that you actually like. So, and he was just taking the money that he did. A friend of his was kind of managing stuff. He had managers that he hired and all this other junk, and then he just went about traveling to Japan.
That sounds like the perfect life. That sounds like the ideal life to me.
Yeah, I know, right? So I was like, wow, okay. I mean, really nothing new there, but, I actually met somebody. That was
right.
like, So I just thought that was really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I think that was a little off topic, though.
Oh no, that's a perfect way to round out the podcast. That was great. So basically, if you're struggling for an idea as to what you want to do what you like, and find a way, if you want to monetize it. I think that's definitely a lesson we can all learn today.
All right. Oh, just to top things off here, kind of just to make sure we go back on the topic here. It wasn't, technically it dealt with like food, but it was 2 different sources of income that he was dealing with, so he's kind of a generalist, you know what I mean?
Right. So he's he likes many things, and he decided to get on the train and sort of monetize many things.
There you go.
Yeah. There you go. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So guys, if you learn nothing else from this episode, definitely try and do it and do what you like.
Also, I'm a bit curious. Anybody who feels like messaging us or whatever, let us know your stance. What do you think is better?
Oh yeah, please let us know. Are you a generalist? Are you a specialist? Let us know what kind of things you're getting up to, if you're a specialist or generalist. And you can always email us. Send it to our email at twobrokegaijin@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook at twobrokegaijin, Twitter at twobrokegaijin, and of course Instagram at twobrokegaijin. It's very, very simple. Branding. Nothing else. Branding. So that brings episode 9 to a close. Thank you everybody for listening, and if you can, please give us a review on iTunes. It really helps us out. It helps us. We hit over 240 downloads, I think, by this week. Is that correct, Eddie?
That is, yes. 200.
Over 240 downloads.
I think 243, 44.
That's amazing.
Something like that.
That's crazy. That's crazy. We want to thank everybody, every single one of you for listening. If you made it this far, congratulations. Thanks, and Thank you for sticking with us. And next week, episode 10, I think I'm going to set the topic for next week. Right now, right here, right now.
All right.
And it's going to be the reason I want to set it because it's going to be kind of a follow-on.
All right. Let's do this.
And this is and this is once you've chosen what to do. So we talked about the general sort of the overview, generalist or specialist, sort of like which one are you?
Right.
Once you've chosen what to do, how do you adapt to changing situations?
What do you mean?
Do you stick to what you're doing, or do you correct course if things come in your way? And that's something I would definitely like to explore next week, and a sort of follow on from this episode.
All right.
So look forward to that next week, guys. It should be out on Friday. Every week, Friday, come back, listen to the Broke Gaijin. Two broke guys just having a chat. And as always, guys, thank you for listening.